Hello, Sonor family. Jules here on a Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine went pretty good. Got a few things cleared up with interviews. Not a lot of great progress on that, but I'll tell you where we are. Had a guy, he's a relatively new Sonor endorser, and been wanting to talk to him for a while. And I had to reschedule, and then he had to reschedule, and then he kind of ghosted me. Turns out he's had a major family loss, and I think something else is going on as well. So we're going to give this guy a pass. And not only is he not doing the interview right now, he's just put down the drumsticks at this juncture in life. So be thinking about him, and just hope the best for the situation, and maybe he can get back to life, not for the sake of doing this interview and entertaining us, but maybe he'll be able to get back to life sooner than later. And those are just hard times when you go through that. And so let's just be thinking about him. I did a 3 hour interview today with a buddy of mine, and he's been a Sonar artist for quite a while. And within the last 2 years, has gotten new touring and home or studio rig. So we're going to talk about that, and we did talk about that. And we were on the phone so long. There's a lot of content that I think is going to be of interest to some. The thing with this sort of thing is you can watch where people talk about this, but then there's nothing like going in there and looking at statistics. Um, so you can go in and see how long somebody actually watches a video before they go, and people seem to have the attention span of a poodle these days. So, I don't want to sit there and if I put a 2 hour interview, a lot of folks aren't even going to click on that. So we may cut this up into some bite-sized pieces and release it that way. The heart of it is going to be the Sonar stuff, the current uh, touring he's doing. He's working with recently been touring with three different acts, and he's also going to retell the story of how he ended up with Sonar, even though he started out a major tour with a different brand of drums. And to me, that story has always been amusing. So for him to tell it again, I'm looking forward to that for all the new viewers that haven't seen the old interview. So I got a lot of post production, editing, and all that to do on that. I don't know when I'm going to have it out. I got another one I've been sitting on for a while now, and hopefully I'm going to get to release that next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a backstory to something that happened last month, and to the casual observer, uh, it just doesn't seem like there is much to it, but really, when you know the whole story, there's an entire backstory, and the whole thing was kind of years in the making, really. So, um, I I can't wait to get the thumbs up. Um, the guy just wants to make sure that everything looks right and all that before he lets me release it. So he's been on vacation, and hopefully I'm going to get a stamp of approval. If he wants some edits, that's fine. I think I've done a pretty good job on it for him. So hopefully Saturday you're going to have some new content. There's something besides my face in front of you there. Um, all right, that's about it with interviews. Other than to say, I've got several high-level Sonar endorsers. That they're busy. They're just busy. And I thought I had one on the hook for Wednesday, and well, he had to push till May. So May's not dead set either. But we'll just we'll take things as they come. But I got two or three lined up soon, and working on some more for you. Um, got this exclusive drum and stage product in R&D. I've mentioned that before. Something too I want to mention. This isn't on my list, but not a lot of people watch Coffee with Jules. So I'm quite redundant. Like when I ask people or offer for people to send me ideas for, who they'd like to see interviewed, certain content or whatever, y'all bear with me because, a different group of people might watch next week than watch to this week. So I have to kind of keep that up. Plus, I want to remind folks too that I want your input. I'm not just sitting here regurgitating whatever hits my mind. Uh, this channel is for all the Sonar nuts to enjoy. So if there's something you want that you're going to enjoy, but I don't know to put it out there, speak up. Speak up. I would love the input. And even if somebody comes out of left field with something that I don't feel like is great for the channel or whatever, I still appreciate the input, and I will, if that would ever happen, where for some reason I just didn't think something needed to be done, um, I'd be very respectful about it, an explanation on that. Um, so anyway, while I'm out of town this week, this is probably going to be the only coffee with Jules. There probably won't be one Friday. Um, you'll probably sleep better Thursday night, knowing you don't have to get up and watch this damn thing Friday morning anyway. So, um, also, I'm gonna put my reverb stuff on vacation mode or whatever it's called, and really probably gonna pull all of my Sonar stuff that I've currently got on reverb. And here's why. I've had it up there for months, and I had the pricing quite high for a couple of reasons, and I always explain this. First of all, it's a reverb fee, which is not astronomical, but it is substantial. So if we're doing the deal one on one, um, I don't have a state tax ID number, so I'm not authorized to collect tax for the state. So if you're buying something from me and you're feeling patriotic, by all means, do the math, mail the check to the state. They'll be glad to have it. They'll never fuss at you about that. Um, Other than that, uh, if we're doing one on one, I'll give you the best price with shipping and all that good stuff. By the time you've tacked on a fee of almost 9%, and then you've put whatever your sales tax is, you're looking at a 15, 18% gap between what you paid and what I got. Well, we can meet in the middle on that one on one. So that's part of the reason I keep the pricing high on Reverb. I'd rather somebody seek me out otherwise, and let's do it one on one, unless they just need the security of buying through Reverb, which is fine. But you always pay for your amenities, right? So if you go get a car and you get the service plan, it's not because the dealership gives it to you because they have to or they owe it to you. That's just a perk you pay for. Same here. So if you're wanting something from Reverb, but you call me directly, we're going to be able to negotiate a better price. I'm not looking to get rich off this stuff. So anyway, we could go all around the topic on that all day long. So back to the point of the Sonar stuff, I've dropped the price on this stuff several times, and still don't have sales. So if the fish aren't biting, it doesn't matter what bait you're using. So I'm probably not going to relist this stuff right now. I will still have it. And what I will do is wind up putting some other stuff up. I've still got three of the designer snare drums. I've still got the D500 that's got to be finished up. Being sick for over 3 weeks really threw me for a loop. I got way off my game. But there's going to be content come out too with one of these designer snare drums. I'm going to show you my process for taking it apart, which is no big deal. Monkey could do that. But the everything I do to treat the rubber, uh, cleaning different levels of chrome in different conditions and that sort of thing, and polishing the shell. The thing about Sonar is the lacquer they use on the shell. It's amazing. It cleans up amazingly. I use elbow grease. I don't have to use buffer wheels and buff the stuff to a high gloss. I mean, it just this a lot of this stuff I've got's been on tour, and I've had stuff that had uh duct tape stuck to the shell with all that residue, and I had a process for getting all that off, and my little procedure for what I do worked to get it back to a high lustrous finish without having to break out a buffer wheel. Now, I don't have a buffer wheel. If I did, I might would do it anyway, but I don't think it's necessary. I haven't had a drum that had any surface damage that required a buffer wheel, luckily enough. So if I'm not arguing with anybody that likes doing it that way or that needs to do it that way because of the wear and tear on their particular drums. This is not me comparing or saying I'm better at what I'm doing. I'm just explaining that so far that's not been part of my process, but I've got very specific things I use and do each step along the way, depending, like in the way of the Chrome, depending on the level of issues you're dealing with there. So I'm going to do a video on that. And I guess that's pretty much all I've got to say right now. Um, Drumandstage at gmail.com. It, I don't mind doing interviews on local Sonor guys. If you know somebody that's got a really awesome drum set, or somebody that's got a huge collection, or somebody that's recently purchased a new SQ2 set after playing a different brand for all these years, you know, I'll interview them. I'm not fussy, and they don't have to be a Sonor endorser. I'm looking for any kind of content that would be of interest to, half a dozen or more people. And we've almost got 1,000 viewers. And like these coffees with Jules, on a good day, maybe 50 people, maybe a few more watch. But a lot of this content's not of interest to everybody, and that's okay. But the ones of y'all that do like this stuff and that would like to see, uh, you know, somebody's neighbor's drum sets. I mean, there's some gorgeous drum sets out there. So, and plus stories are always interesting anyway. I mean, you put a couple of Sonor guys together, and they can talk incessantly about their Sonor gear and their stories and all that. So this is just basically doing that on more of a mass scale. So send me your ideas if you have a friend or buddy, or if you would like to do an interview, I will do that. Absolutely. Just let me know, and drumandstage at gmail.com, and we'll get that going. And I appreciate every one of y'all that hangs in there. And this morning's no exception. Probably will not be a Coffee with Jules Friday, since I am on a different assignment this week for something totally non-drum related. I may sneak one in there somehow. If not, I will see y'all next week, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you.